Hey guys, I'm back again. Welcome to day 9 in life, the Google Pixel Fold. I'm currently recording this video on the Google Pixel 7a, bringing it back for one time. For some reason, I always end up dropping this Pixel 7a like 5 to 10 times. Even setting up this tripod, you managed to find a way to crash into the table. But for the $2,000 Pixel Fold, I haven't dropped it yet, so knock on wood. But let's walk through day 9 and life of this phone. So these days, every time I wake up in the morning, it's typically around 2 to 4 a.m. I don't even need to turn on the alarm clock on my phone anymore. So you guys have a baby, they will wake you up on the dot whenever they need to be fed, so don't need to worry about alarm clocks anymore. And throughout the day, I really enjoyed the Pixel Fold's elegant design on the outside, though when you open it up, it is a nice large display on the inside, despite the limitation in terms of the apps you can use properly. I don't really like the shiny reflective screen protector, especially if you're using it under direct sunlight, or it can be challenging to see depending on the angles, and it makes the crease stand out even more. And with all folding phones, except for the Motorola Razr Plus, it does get really dusty and is not very pleasant to look at on a day-to-day basis compared to a traditional smartphone. So once you get over all these flaws, there's a lot to appreciate about it. Just having the ability to take out the tablet in your pocket whenever you want, it is pretty enjoyable. But for the most part, I just use the larger display to watch YouTube or do some web surfing. But even web surfing using Google Chrome, some of the websites are weird. I typically use like deals before I buy anything in order to get a gauge of how much things cost. And when using the larger display, for some reason everything is so spread out and you have to scroll more in order to see certain items. So I end up closing the phone, which is where I actually spend the majority of the time using it when it's closed. In the beginning, I would say I was using the phone open 60-70% of the time. Then later it went down to 50. Now I would say I'm probably at maybe 20 to 30% of the time I'm using the big display compared to the outside display. And the end of display is pretty useful for reading PDF document. On regular smartphones, it is very tiny to read because everything gets shrunken down, but having the ability to open it up whenever I'm reading a PDF file and having the large display makes it so much easier, especially since I'm doing some research. Just looking to Montana, understanding the area, planning a potential trip down there, and understand the economics around the area. It was pretty helpful to hop back and forth between Google Maps and using the web surfing. I could do a split screen, but I don't like having like half keyboards or anything like that. So I end up just switching back and forth between the apps, but even that is pretty useful for doing research. Sometimes I'm lazy to walk over to the computer and use my 3 monitors, so it's nice having that large display right at my fingertips when I don't feel like moving, and if I'm having a lazy day, I need to stay there and pretty much get a lot of things accomplished, such as doing research. And in the morning, when I go to the bathroom, I just prop it on the counter to watch videos. While I brush my teeth, wash my face, go through my morning beauty regime. And the Pixel works pretty fine. It works fine. It is water resistant, so I don't gotta worry about water splashing on it, damaging the screen or anything like that. So it's just sitting there doing its job while I'm worrying about my face wash, lotion, and all that. Because these skin do not just magically happen overnight. Everything takes time and effort. But would it be nice for the Pixel Fold to have the S Pen? I guess in theory, if you really want a pen, you probably go on Amazon and just Google tablet stylus or something like that. You can find a million different stylus out there. I know the Samsung stylus are usually more defined and they have Bluetooth and all that, but ironically on the Fold 5 they don't even have the Bluetooth enabled one, so they just have the very bare minimum S Pen. But with a larger display, you might be tempted to use an S Pen, especially if you like to draw and do things like that. Me personally, even if they found a way to jam a pen into this phone, I probably wouldn't really use it. The only time where I really need to use a pen, maybe I'm signing a document, but that's not something I do on a day-to-day basis. And one of my biggest complaints about the phone is it's so big and heavy. Using it one hand is challenging. It puts a lot of weight on the pinky finger. And even having it in my pocket running up and down the stairs in my house when I wear basketball shorts, I can feel my phone flapping up and down. It gets a little uncomfortable, but those are the things you need to deal with when you have a larger phone in your pocket. Still annoyed that the one game that I play, Pokemon trading card game, don't really work well when the phone is opened up. It works well when the phone is closed, folded up. I mean, if that's the case, I can just get a regular phone. So though it is nice to have a large screen to work with certain games, the one game that I do play does not work, so that still bothers me to this day. Who knows, maybe it will improve over time, but as of right now, it's just not well optimized. There's black bars on the side, and just certain areas of the games are cut off so you can't even access all the features in order to even play the game. And one of the most satisfying part about owning any folding phone is its ability to close the phone up. Whenever you're done using it, it has a nice satisfying clap. So I do like having a folding phone just from that perspective. I think that this phone was priced around $1,000. It would be the perfect price point, just in terms of all the quirks you have to deal with, the dirty screen, the crease, half the apps not working. But at $1,800, I just expect a lot more. And I just complain about all these flaws so people can understand what it's like to own a folding phone. For me in general, I love the idea of folding phones and just having a larger display in my pocket. But for Android apps, Android tablets in general, it's not really well supported by developers. So that's another thing you want to consider when switching over to the Android ecosystem, especially if you want a tablet. The iPads are pretty well optimized. A lot of apps work really well with the iPad, but for some reason, Android is so diluted. There's so many tablets out there that developers don't really care about it. So unfortunately, all these apps are just weird. Everything is cut off. There's black bars. There's so many optimization you have to worry about when switching over to the Android side of the world, especially using tablets. But we'll see if people will listen. I know Google is incentivizing developers to push out more apps that are well optimized for larger screens. I'm curious how long it's going to take or if it's going to have any impact. But there you have it. This wraps up day 9 in the life of this phone. So far, being a stay-at-home dad is fine. If I'm going throughout my day, it's nice to have the large tablet whenever I'm washing dishes and doing random chores. Though occasionally when I have to hold the baby and I have to find a way to grab my phone, it is super challenging and hard to use with one hand. But other than that, if you have 2 free hands, then I think this phone will be a more enjoyable experience. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. If you have any thoughts, questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.